Kamba komedia boys meso abo anogara akafurika nzeve dzavo dzinogara.
Right, 25 April 2025, and today I'm going to be giving you a very big update on what is happening between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. So we are reaching a point of no return, and next week everything is going to come to a head between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, and by Friday next week we are going to be having a much clearer picture of what is happening with Nyokayemabhunu, who is currently in jail. So Nyokayemabhunu was arrested or abducted from his home. So basically what has happened is that I've received more information on what happened to Nyokayemabhunu yesterday, and it now turns out that Nyokayemabhunu was abducted from Port Elizabeth. So that is the latest information that I've got, that Nyokayemabhunu was abducted from Port Elizabeth, and then he was missing for the whole night under a bunch of guys that cannot be identified or have not been identified, and was only released to the police after a one-night interrogation, at which point it is suspected that Nyokayemabhunu was injected with something, and currently the state of Nyokayemabhunu is not clear if he is fine or not medically if they have not injected him. As you know that the Zimbabwean guys, when they catch you, they normally inject you with something. So what has now happened is that Nyokayemabhunu's family in South Africa is living in fear after their gadgets have been hacked in recent weeks, in recent days. They have been hacked, and mysterious calls have been received by the family in South Africa. So the family has gone into hiding, and this is because there's currently an active investigation into the link between Nyokayemabhunu and Chiwenga. So that is what is happening. Mnangagwa believes that there is a link between Nyokayemabhunu and Chiwenga, and he has started a deep investigation in South Africa, which has been ongoing for more than 3 weeks, with a particular emphasis or focus on an alleged command center, which is said to be based in Pretoria. So a lot of agents have been put on this case, but so far they have failed to link Chiwenga to Nyokayemabhunu. According to the guys I talked to, they are failing to find a link between Nyokayemabhunu and Chiwenga, and therefore they have started to go broader, looking at other people's gadgets, including people around Nyokayemabhunu. What happened, according to the guys that I talked to, is that Sean Mnangagwa personally came to South Africa and had discussions with people connected to South African prison services, resulting in a raid on Nyokayemabhunu's phone. And on digging into the phone, they could not find any evidence that there was communication between Chiwenga and Nyokayemabhunu. However, Mnangagwa still believes that there is a link between the two and is continuing the investigation, including, as I said, looking into the gadgets of family members. The family members are so terrified that they cannot even go to the court. They cannot even go and send food and visit. So Nyokayemabhunu is currently not receiving any visitors in prison. No one has attended his court case from the family because they are afraid that if they go there, they are going to be somehow apprehended by these mysterious people that are calling them on their phones. So they are phoning them on a daily basis, and even when they change their numbers, they still get these calls, which is crazy. So this is a very important development because it means Mnangagwa believes that Chiwenga is behind everything that is happening, and we'll see. Let's see how far this goes because Mnangagwa, once he believes something, he is going to take it to its logical conclusion. So I believe that Mnangagwa is going to push this and try to link Chiwenga to what is happening with Nyokayemabhunu and the rest of the guys, including Mnangagwa. But so far as I've heard, they failed to establish that link, and they are still continuing to dig. So let's see what happens next week. My sources explained to me that by Friday, which is the 1st of April, Nyokayemabhunu will be facing extradition, or he is going to be sent back to Zimbabwe. That is the possibility, a big possibility, that Nyokayemabhunu will be sent back to Zimbabwe. And that is the expectation from the legal team, that this is going to happen, that Nyokayemabhunu is going to be sent to Zimbabwe facing a fraud charge. You know that he was put in jail for a fraud charge. So they say that he's likely going to be sent back to Zimbabwe because the legal team is apparently not very responsive, is not talking or updating the family, and they do not know what is happening with the case. So this is a very complicated situation, because once Mnangagwa links Chiwenga to what is happening, the end result is unknown. What is the outcome? If he managed to establish that link, has he managed to establish that link? And what is the role of Sean Mnangagwa, who has flown into South Africa 2 or so times on this investigation, personally talking to members of the South African intelligence services, resulting in the retrieving of 2 phones. So the first phone was stolen when Nyoka was arrested or abducted in Port Elizabeth. That phone was looked at for the whole night. So everyone who is ever transacted with Nyoka, they now have the names of who was talking to Nyoka, at what point he was talking to them, including taking over the group. So they've taken over the Nyokayemabhunu group, which has got over 280,000 followers. And they put some very dirty pictures on it and destroy that group. When Nyoka opened a new group using a new phone, when he was in prison, they then sent people to go in there, search the cell, and took over the phone. And currently, that is the phone that I'm talking about, which they were digging into, and which was handed to Sean Mnangagwa, according to my sources. So that phone was handed to Sean Mnangagwa, and they were trying to establish the link between Chiwenga, Nyoka, and Mnangagwa. And my understanding is that so far, they have not managed to establish a link between Chiwenga and Nyoka, but they have managed to establish certain locations to say, these are the people who are talking to Nyoka, this is where the payments were coming from, and so forth. So these are the kind of things that are happening right now. The focus is on Mnangagwa's team, is to say, how is Chiwenga linked to what is going on? And I do not know what is his plan exactly, but they are putting multiple resources, that is human resources and cash, into this investigation. They are spending a lot of time and money on this investigation. So the Chiwenga team, they have to be very careful, and especially people who have transacted. If you have done a transaction with Nyoka, you must be aware that your communication is in the hands of Zvigananda. So Zvigananda have got your number, they've got your communication, and if you have done anything, let's say you have given assistance or whatever, they have that amount. They know exactly when you did the transaction. So Nyoka, very strong man, but in a very tight corner. So most of you have forgotten what it looks like. So let me show you what Nyoka looks like.
Right, maskera zvakadini muri Zimbabwe, nyika inovakwa nerudo nekubatana nekutaura nezwi rimwe chete nekuchengetedza mutemo nekuchengetedza constitution, kuzvondana nekuvengana nekupomerana mhaka nekusungana nekukepture judiciary nekukepture mainstitution negovernment hazvisake kuti nyika ivakwe iine kwainoenda. Saka tati nhasi unoti kuzivisei kuti aiwa Nyoka ngatibatanei sezvakataurwa nemukuru wedu wageza vakati aiwa bodoka, nyika ngaibatane. Zvekusikera vanhu muchitukana mumagroups ngazvipere izvozvo. My members of parliament vari kupiwa mari dzavari kupiwa idzodzo tichadzidimanda kugovernment, back to government. Mari idzodzo piwai mudye but tichadzida nekuti munhu ari kukupai ari kuzitora kugovernment. Saka zvizivei izvozvo kuti kana ukapiwa mari dzinobiwa dziri mari dzevanhu dzinotorwa dzodzokera kugovernment, kana ukapiwa motikari inotengwa nemari dzinenge dzabva kugovernment inotorwa motikari iyo dzorerwa futi kugovernment. Saka ngazvizikanwe kana uri pastor anonzwa mweya chaiwo chokwadi, fema hwema kuti tava papi kuakai mweya. Ndawakangotambira zvese zvese chenjera kupera in the realm of the spirit. Nyika ndeyevanhu ende icharamba iri yevanhu. Hatisi kuzombotya kubvisa Mnangagwa this time. Tiri kumubvisa anoda kana kuti haadi. That is that.
That is that. Sadzarepa boarding. So that is Nyokayemabhunu. Nyokayemabhunu is going to become a key player in what is going to happen. And the investigation by Mnangagwa is intensifying. Mnangagwa believes that Chiwenga is connected to this, and he's going after so many agents around South Africa. So as I said, if you believe that you have transacted with Nyokayemabhunu, just be aware that you are in the spotlight and Mnangagwa is looking at you. As I said, the family totally terrified, getting mysterious calls and probably under surveillance as we speak. That is the family of Nyokayemabhunu here. There are many, many family members in South Africa, and they're all being looked at by Mnangagwa. Right, Mkoba Zedia says, I don't trust you, Gambakwe. Your brain name is more of Magamba, which is full of Zanu. Passing away, Zedia Zoro. Right, let's go to other news that is happening. Munomu, South Africa. I want to do a few more stories and then I'll be back. Remember, today on day 4 of the protest or of the shutdown. It's not stopping. People are staying away and you must close your business. Don't go into town. Don't go into and do anything in the city centers. Atidimunu, Muharare, Atidimunu, Mblawayo. Stay away from the city centers and stay at home, as was said by Mdaragezas. Day 4, and this stay away is going to continue until the 6th, when the parliament is going to open. We are going to be on top of it, and I believe that Mnangagwa is going to go. Now, let's start with an important meeting that took place in South Africa. Then I'll come back to Zimbabwe. So yesterday, Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in South Africa, and he met with President Ramaphosa. President Ramaphosa has indicated that he talked to President Trump and to President Putin, and there is a discussion for a ceasefire. So very soon, there's going to be a meeting between President Ramaphosa and President Trump. So I want to show you this portion when he said that.
I had an opportunity to speak to President Trump yesterday, or this morning rather, to discuss the peace process in Ukraine. We both agreed that the war should be brought to an end as soon as possible to prevent further death and destruction. President Trump and I also agreed to meet soon to address the various other matters regarding our relations between South Africa and the United States. We both spoke about the need to foster good relations between our two countries. Earlier in the week, I had a call with President Vladimir Putin, where we both committed to work.
Right, so that is what has happened. President Trump and President Ramaphosa had a meeting, a phone call, and there was also a phone call between President Ramaphosa and President Putin. So there was a meeting or a phone call between the two, and there is a possibility of a ceasefire, unconditional ceasefire taking place, and also a meeting, a physical meeting between President Trump and President Ramaphosa. As you know, the Americans have been blue-ticking the South Africans. They don't want to talk to them because of the relationship between South Africa and Hamas and Iran. So that is the problem. The South Africans going through a very hard time over this issue. So let's see what happens when President Trump meets with President Ramaphosa in the near future. If that meeting happens, it will be great. It will improve the situation between South Africa and the USA. Right, I think that is covered. Let's now go into Zimbabwe. I want to go back to Zimbabwe. So, Mbusi Samuel appeared with Kembo Mohadi yesterday. So you saw that. Kembo Mohadi addressed the meeting. And he's dead. He's not dead, sorry. He's not dead. Someone wrote us a message here and said Kembo Mohadi has died. So I called Kembo and we clarified that whole situation. So Kembo is alive and that's all good. And then Ibo Mandaza has today published a statement. So Ibo Mandaza has published and given a few more details on the National Transitional Authority. He has put out the names of the steering committee of the National Transitional Authority, led by himself, and other people in this committee include Trevor Ngube, Joy Mabenge, and Jonah Ngube, and other people. There's a lot of people here, and I've asked Ibo Mandaza to give me a call. For the first time, I've got Ibo Mandaza's phone number. It's over here. So what they're saying is that there must be an all-stakeholder national conference resulting in a National Transitional Authority. And this has been published in the independent newspaper. You can go and check it out today in the independent newspaper of today. It's been published over there. I've got a lot of questions about it, but let me clarify where my support lies. So my support lies with Mnangagwa and what he's doing. So the rest of the people, what they're coming up with, if it doesn't align with what Mnangagwa is doing at the moment, I'm not with it, and I'm not going to engage with it. I think what Mnangagwa is doing at the moment is the best. That is the best way to remove Mnangagwa and to actually have a way of removing Mnangagwa. The other stuff, what these guys are doing with the NTA, I've got a lot of reservations. It's almost as if they're saying whatever Mnangagwa is doing doesn't make sense, and they're going to sit down with Mnangagwa and he's going to somehow step down. So I don't believe that this is the way. I believe that Mnangagwa's way is the way, and we should support what he's doing. We should also support the military guys who are currently launching an operation according to what Mnangagwa has said. There is an operation that has been launched as we speak right now. It's in progress. And people are going to be arrested. Mnangagwa is going to step down, and we're going to have a new government. So I believe that Mnangagwa is the right path. And here I don't see a roadmap. I don't see how they reach this steering committee. And I also don't understand how Mnangagwa is going to suddenly be out of the way for this NTA. So I believe, and I wish that Mandaza would come and defend what is writing here. I think Mandaza, he is living in his own world in terms of Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa will not step down and just leave office like that. He needs to be forced. And the only way you can force Mnangagwa onto the table is if you put him under so much pressure, like what Mnangagwa has done. After Mnangagwa came out and called for the stay away, Mnangagwa is no longer talking about 2030. Mnangagwa has stopped taking people for granted. So what we need is more of what Mnangagwa is doing, not more of the usual. So Mnangagwa is right now under a lot of pressure. He cannot operate like he used to do with impunity. He knows that there's someone who can challenge him. That is why I believe Mnangagwa's approach is perfect, and we need to support him, make sure that this succeeds, and we'll end up with a much better outcome. Then the independent newspaper is leading with a story that the Americans have changed their approach to Zimbabwe. And I do not know if that is true or not. What they're saying is that the Americans are now focused more on investment in Zimbabwe rather than on aid and sanctions. I do not know if they interpreted this correctly. I don't believe that the Americans will suddenly be looking to invest into Zimbabwe without resolving the issues that are there in Zimbabwe. So you can go check out that story in the independent newspaper. It's one of the leading stories over there, where they're saying the Americans have changed their strategy on Zimbabwe. You know my opinions. I've said it this week that no proper country or democratic country can engage with Mnangagwa. The man is not the right man to discuss with. You just need to wait for a new government in Zimbabwe. Then in SADC, Elias Mahosi is currently in Washington. I don't know if he has returned, but he met with all the SADC ambassadors once again in Washington. So that is all the ambassadors of the Southern African countries over here. He has met with them. And Mahosi has toned down a little bit ever since he stopped taking money from Zanu. So during the SADC, or leading up to the SADC summit, Mahosi was almost a puppet of Mnangagwa. But Mnangagwa's influence in SADC has really reduced. No one cares about Mnangagwa. Everyone has seen that Mnangagwa is not really a chairman of SADC. He was just doing it to destroy SADC. And so I'm very happy to see that Mahosi is starting to do different stuff. And Mnangagwa is almost no one in SADC. Then going to South Africa, Fikile Mbalula has cast doubt on the reported shooting or assassination attempt on Vice President of South Africa, Paul Mashatile. Fikile Mbalula says this thing is suspicious. He doesn't think that it happened. And he thinks that this is just a stand so that Paul Mashatile can get the sympathy of the public. And that is because Fikile Mbalula and Paul Mashatile, they are all looking forward to become the next president of South Africa. So you can check out this story. It's quite big and it's trending across South Africa. So that's an open challenge by Fikile Mbalula, who says, what is this shooting about? Is it real or is it just a stunt by someone who wants to become a president of South Africa? Then DJ Ola is getting worse and worse. You can see DJ Ola here with the guy who's accused of killing the generals. So Owen Mnangagwa has been accused in the dossier by the Zimbabwe military, which says the murder of the generals who died over the past few years was carried out by Owen Mnangagwa. And you see this young man here, DJ Ola, with him. And this is a shocking picture because last week, DJ Ola said he knows no politician. He talked to me and said he knows no one in politics and he has never done anything political. He's just an independent person. But in the past 2 days, we've seen him together with the Minister of Information, Muswere, and now with Owen Mnangagwa, a man who is accused of assassinating the generals. And apparently, according to my sources, there is more to DJ Ola, and I'll obviously give you that information as soon as I get it. So this is very dangerous. Media people are being bought left, right, and center. So we are only having a few media houses that are left that can report on anything that is happening in Zimbabwe. The majority of the media houses have been paid off, and we are going to eventually end up with a situation where all media has been taken over by Mnangagwa. And this means kuti inini ndinofana kubva pano pa Cape Town ndoenda kana kuti Washington. I think I'm going to move to Washington now because ndichabatwa seishwa. The way that these guys operate, they don't want any media house that is independent. Mnangagwa is heading towards a one-party state or a dynasty where his family is going to take over completely. That includes Ana Valerio, who are his brother, and his sons. They want to take over the whole country. And the Mnangagwa family or the Shumba clan is planning to take over and make sure that there is no challenge. So anyone who is seen as an opponent of Mnangagwa is going to be taken out. And the process has already started. As I said to you, currently there's a deep investigation into Chiwenga that is taking place in South Africa, with multiple agents having been deployed to investigate a potential or an alleged command center by Chiwenga in Pretoria, which resulted in the arrest of Nyoka. The reason why they abducted Nyoka when he was still in Port Elizabeth was to stop him from arriving in Johannesburg, where they believed that certain actions were going to take place at whatever command center they were talking about. But they're failing to create that link between Chiwenga and what was happening. My sources say there was no evidence of ever any communication between Chiwenga and Nyoka. And that is what they're looking for. That is why they are digging so deep and hacking multiple sites and phones. My understanding is that there is a whole team, cyber team, that has been deployed in South Africa. And if you're one of the people who is being targeted, your phone is probably going to be stolen. They are going to watch you, steal your phone. If they can't find the evidence on another person's phone, they'll jump and find it on another person's phone. And it's crazy. It's crazy what's happening. So be very, very alert with your gadgets and wipe out anything. If you've got any stuff on your phone, wipe it, remove it, and make your phone as clean as new. Atidi kuti Mnangagwa, about anything, make him suffer for it. And then let's go to Zambia. My favorite president, Hakainde Hichilema, is continuing with paying his condolences to the late Pope. So yesterday he visited the office of the Holy See over there in Zambia. President Hakainde Hichilema, very, very amazing president. I like him. And then if you go to Botswana, you see that President Duma Boko has done the same. He was also meeting with the team, the tourism team in Mon. So President Duma Boko was officially opening a conference for tourism in Botswana. So I'm trying to find a picture here. And unfortunately, I don't seem to have a picture. So I'll find you that picture. You can go to his Facebook page. He always posts there on a daily basis. Then going to my favorite newspaper, the H Metro, two brothers have been fighting over a woman, resulting in the death of one of the brothers. So Prince Ngube and Pardon Ngube are brothers, or were brothers, before they had a fight over a woman called Philippa, and resulting in Prince stabbing Pardon to death and then going on the run. I don't know how two brothers can be in love with the same woman. That is crazy and unbelievable. Like, how do you date the same woman with your brother? That's disgusting. So I don't know what is happening here. Yeah, but that is what has happened. Go check it out in the H Metro newspaper. And then let's quickly look at the Herald newspaper. As I said, I'll be back here to give you an update on the protest or the stay away. It's happening and it's going to be long. So we are going to be on top of this thing until the 6th of May. Let's look at the Herald newspaper. Today, Herald newspaper is reporting a very important story relating to Mnangagwa. You saw that Mnangagwa cited the Kuvimba deal last week in his live. So the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has clarified, or the former Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe governor, John Manguji, has clarified the Kuvimba deal. And this is all corruption. So go check it out. There's a whole statement here by Mutapa Fund that has been issued. And they are now saying that this money will be paid over 3 years. And it's not a corrupt deal. But we all know that nothing that Mnangagwa does is not corrupt. Then cyber terrorists masquerading as journalists will not be tolerated. This man, Jen Van Muswere, as I said, is buying all the journalists. They have paid off a bunch of journalists. And this is a serious threat to freedom of the press. Guys, if these guys continue, you end up not knowing what's happening in Zimbabwe. And especially the buying of young DJ Ola here. This is terrible. They've bought this young man. They've given him a car. I think Wikimedia gave him a car or something. And these are the kind of things that are happening in our country, where instead of working with the press, they work against the press. They try to buy the press. Mnangagwa has bought all the newspapers of Trevor Ncube. So almost all the social media platforms right now have been bought. If you see any social media platform where there's nothing written about the protest, that platform has been bought by Mnangagwa. They've paid it. They've literally paid for all the social media guys that the prominent ones. They are quiet. They can't talk. They've bought big newspapers and media people to lie and say that there is no protest, there's no stay away. And as you heard Mnangagwa, they literally bus people to walk around in town. Do you see how stupid that is? They hire buses and buses, and then they put people in town to walk. Can you believe it? Mnangagwa, instead of addressing the problems, he wants to make things appear normal. So Mnangagwa totally on the right path and doing very, very well. And then the Association of Architects of Zimbabwe has published the list of all registered architects. I'm going to publish this list for you so that you don't use an unregistered architect. And then what else? The Tokwe Mukosi Council has produced a master plan. And I'll also put it for you over here on gambakwe.com. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover for today. What I'm going to do is that a bit later, I'm going to come and we'll look at what is happening inside of the city of Harare. And to the people who are inside of Bulawayo, boycott the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair. That thing is evil. The Zimbabwe International Trade Fair is a propaganda tool from Mnangagwa to make things appear normal. Show the international people that nothing is happening. Umuntu wako Bulawayo, don't go there. Even if they give you a free ticket, don't go there. Boycott Mnangagwa, boycott Chapo. Chapo is responsible for the death of over 400 opposition supporters in Mozambique who were shot dead after they opened the gates of prison and shot anyone who walked out of prison. Chapo has also rigged the elections in Mozambique. Very evil people, Mana Chapo and Mnangagwa. So boycott them. Make sure there's no one at the opening ceremony. And even if you're an exhibitor, just stand in your stand. Don't go wherever Mnangagwa is going to be presenting. Let it be as empty as possible. Let's see if there's anything else in the newspapers. What else is in our newspapers? If I don't see anything now, we're going to give it to you later on. As I said, Chronicle Zimbabwe. What is in the Chronicle Zimbabwe? Nothing is yet. They're not published. Now let's quickly go to my sponsors. So today, as I said, in Newtown, so our Newtown, where the buses of Zimbabwe are, we're going to be giving a sample. So a sample pack is this size. So that's a sample pack of Mve. You can go and get a free sample pack. That's for 2 days. Our sponsors has been good enough to give you, if you've never tested Mve, this is a free sample that is available at Newtown only. So at our Newtown center. And then obviously we have the jacket, amazing jacket with the hoodie. Amazing jacket with 400 rands. You're going to get it for free when you buy Mve. We've got only 50 jackets. So that is for South Africa, Harare, and Bulawayo. You're going to be able to get this. This promotion will never be repeated again from our sponsor. That is amazing. Let's quickly look at the comments and then I'll recap. Viva Geza, yes. What you were supposed to talk to transport people and they'll be off, not go to ZITF. I don't know, Mgoma White. Then what about Chimama? Chimama is no one. I don't like her anymore. Guys, if you see Chimama, I'm blue ticking her now because I do not know why she gave my private conversation with her. And only part of it with to that Mpana Uyuem Soro and alien. Why she did that, it's beyond me. Why someone would go to Zanu PF platform and give my conversation with her, where I personally asked her to help us to locate Nyoka. I said to her, please help us. Nyoka has been arrested. And she has been spreading a fake war veterans video, spreading fake war veteran information. Like, I do not know where she got that thing. She had a bunch of fake audios from the war veterans there. So I'm saying to her, where are they live? And she sent me a whole bunch of fake war veteran videos there. Like, those guys are not war veterans there. That's not the war veteran leader. And she just sends these videos.
We refer you to our previous discussions with you. More promises are coming. Civil servants must get at least one.
So that's not war veterans. So I asked her, where the heck are these guys live? And she doesn't say. And it turns out that this is a whole sting operation where they are lying. That war veterans have issued a statement. I don't get it. This is crazy. I don't know how she turned from what she was doing with Wikino to this. Like when she was saying she's looking at corruption, I actually believed that she was on this corruption thing until I saw my private messages with her on some other guy's platform. That's crazy. How much money is Zanu PF paying people to tell? And I can challenge her. She knows my platform. We'll bring her here, and she can repeat whatever she wants to repeat. Because in it, I'm clean, guys. I've never taken money from anyone. I've never worked with anybody. All I do is what I do. Okay. Kuma Peter says, you're not clean like the rest. There are always two sides to the story. I'm totally clean. I've never taken money from anybody, and I don't need to. The reason why I don't take money from people is because I live within my means. I only spend $500. Everything in my house, every month, is only $500. I live like the Pope. Why doesn't the Pope? Let's go to Mini page. I forgot to show you guys. So Mini Tabo, or Mini, is it Mini Tabo? Yes, that's Mini. She has today issued a statement, right? I love it. So she said, I want to share it with you guys. That reminds me, I'm worse than the Pope. Like she says, let's read. Reports indicate that Pope Francis died leaving only $100. Yes, $100, less than 90 euros. No house, no bank account, no investment in his name. And he's yet is head of the Catholic Church, where he was supposed to be paid 340,000 euros a year. But he refused the money ever since 2013. Why? Because he was a Jesuit, and Jesuits take a vow of poverty. So you can go read this on Mini's page, right? She's amazing. Myself, I'm worse than the Pope. I've got like less than $100 in my bank right now. Guys, that's why it's going to take. But Chimama, I've literally gave her money. Like, I'm not lying to you guys. And now I'm putting this in public. When Chimama was going to Renfrew, she phoned me and said she needs money to go to Renfrew. I gave her $500 out of the $500 that I use a month. I literally gave her 500 rands into her account or whatever. And so I'm not the kind of person that she's trying to make. And then I hate people who stab me in the back. It's embarrassing. It's shocking. And I love it. By the way, we've received a bit of money to assist Nyoka. So you can say whatever you like about me. Guys, I'm clean. You can say whatever you like. We have received money for Nyoka right now to assist. So we need to assist Nyoka. So someone says, Wakatengesa Nyoka iwe. So we've received a bit of money to assist Nyoka. So if a family member or someone close, we've got a bit of money, call me and we can assist you. That I want a bit of money. People trust me. No matter what Zanu PF does, people will trust me because I am clean. I've told you. I'm clean. buditsa evidence kana ndakambotora kwauri chinu hapana. We are going to have a new clean government, and that is why we support Mnangagwa. And the good thing is, if you come to me and lie, let's say someone comes and says, Uyo Kembo Mahadi is dead. I don't make it up. It's there. I've got evidence. There are people who are well known who come here and give us fake stories. So last week there was a campaign by Zanu to reduce the credibility of our platform. The good thing about me is I've got safeguards to make sure, Kuti, we know who you are, what you said, and we've got it on record. So eventually, we're going to reveal who is the West. Right. I think I've covered everything. It's amazing. And we are the young people, the future generations of our country. You young people, Musarege Mnangagwa, don't let him down. Don't let down Mnangagwa. Don't let Tagwiri become your president. These guys are going to steal everything. Don't let the family of Mnangagwa take over. They will steal everything. They are shameless thieves, the Mnangagwa family. They steal, they cheat, they kill, and they abduct. Don't let these people take over. Stop them now. And the only way to stop them is to continue with the stairway until they are removed. So support Mnangagwa. Stay on the stairway. It's going to intensify. So it's not going to get less. It's going to get more. As we move towards the 6th of May, it's going to get worse. You're going to see a bigger protest taking place. You're going to see more actions taking place. So I'm going to be on top of it daily until we get to the 6th, when the actual impeachment is going to take place. Mnangagwa and his family are going to be gone. However, they're going to make a desperate move. You're going to see a desperate move from Mnangagwa. He's going to make it very, very soon. And Mnangagwa is no longer talking in public. Something has happened to him. You're going to see today. Look at him when he's talking. If he does give a speech today, that would be interesting. But I believe that he's slowly losing his speech. And that is because of the vascular dementia. It gets worse and worse, and it rapidly deteriorates. So you rapidly deteriorate when you are suffering from this disease. Okay, let's recap. We said Nyokayemabhunu, his family in South Africa, currently being haunted by agents, and they are trying to establish a link between Nyoka and Chiwenga. However, they failed to establish that link. They believe that there is a command center in Pretoria where Nyoka and some of Chiwenga's people were working. That is why they abducted Nyoka when he was just about to travel to Pretoria. He was then abducted in Port Elizabeth and was kept overnight. And the next time that they found him was when he was now in Pretoria after being heavily tortured overnight. And the gadgets were taken. The first gadget during the abduction, and the second gadget was taken in prison when there was a raid after Sean Mnangagwa traveled to South Africa to personally arrange with officials in the prison services who assisted him to retrieve the phone, Nyokayemabhunu. When they got the gadgets, they went through the phone and then they removed certain transactions, history, and documents from that phone. And they've also gone into the group, the biggest WhatsApp group in Zimbabwe, Nyokayemabhunu, and posted filthy pictures and messages. You remember what they did to Bishop Nyamakanga? Bishop Nyamakanga has never been the same again. He's traumatized. You can see his behavior. Right now, what they're posting on Nyokayemabhunu group is disgusting. Like they post every day. They just posted now. They post very stupid stuff over there. I can't take it. So, like I said, when they grabbed Bishop Nyamakanga, they took his phone, they posted disgusting pictures on his group. They are such perverts. Mnangagwa, especially Opana Vashon. They are disgusting. I don't like them at all. So that is what they've done here. But the second phone that they took has got contact details. So they started phoning everyone in that phone and tried to link it to Chiwenga and also to other people. Tried to link transactions and money payments and so forth using that phone. Yakatorwa Mjere. So as I said, this is developing. By the 30th, we expect that they will attempt to extradite Nyokayemabhunu to Zimbabwe, although he has received asylum papers. So he has received asylum papers in South Africa, but they're still making attempts to take him to Zimbabwe. And we're still trying to establish the link with the DJ Ola. Why was DJ Ola's name mentioned? And you can see DJ Ola here with the guy who was accused of killing all the generals. This is shocking. It happened yesterday. DJ Ola, his hands are dripping with blood right now. When he grips the hand. Owen Mnangagwa. Owen Mnangagwa is a serious assassin. Ubati rogo wakashiba runosemesa. Right, I would like to thank all of you for watching, and please remember we are within the stay away until the 6th. Apana Shinomira. Did they call you Gambakwe? Inini, guys, let me tell you something. The guys in intelligence, they know Kuti. After we have a new government, they are going to get at least $2,500 salary. So counterintelligence, they know Kuti end up office pachiwenga totaura naye $2,500 minimum salary. Inonzi Ford Ranger tokuisira office yenyu avenues tokupai mababy akatsvuka ane tight monetary policy. Munozvireka, munodya mari mukazvireka. Vanhu ve-counterintelligence, we want you guys to meet a credit card $50,000. Muchienda holiday every year. We send you kunyika dzakanaka, ana France, ana United States, ana UK. Muchienda ikoko. Notice ukaenda kumuzarabani nika $10. Uchikumbira coupon. Zvakapusa. So we're going to build a new intelligence. Notice zvakapusa. Zvisina nebasa rese. Zvana Mnangagwa. Right, let's see about this one. Gambakwe, why is the first place assigned to Mama to go and see Nyoka? Remember, she let you down on your reform. Okay, let me tell you why I went to Chimama about Nyoka. I've given money to people to go and locate Nyoka. Chimama lives in Pretoria, according to what she told me. She was the only person who lived next to the prison. So I wanted to know if Nyoka was there, so that we can assist him. I can't fly to Johannesburg every day to go and look at Nyoka. So that's why we asked her. So the thing is, when I talk to you, and I do this a lot, I talk to a lot of people. There's no one I don't talk to, in fact, including guys on both sides. So when we say Nyoka has been arrested, remember Nyoka is Zanu. So you guys don't forget that. Nyoka is Zanu. So if we ask someone in Zanu to go and check on Nyoka because he was abducted, and remember everyone was refusing to say Nyoka has been abducted. So I was the only one who knew Nyoka has been abducted. And when people called me the previous day, they said to me, where is Ola? So they were calling me for Ola. And then they were telling me, Ola has been told this thing. But it was an adoption. So I was now running around looking for someone who can assist. That's why we went to her. But what does she do? The first thing I call her, she gives me a bunch of fake war veteran videos. I'm so disgusted when I saw this. I don't even know if you guys know that they made up these war veteran videos and audios about Chamisa. So that was all fake. So I wish I could publish it, but I don't publish my private conversations with people. Yeah, and I don't know what is going on here. Okay, there's something about Rumbi Uncensored here that she was posting, and she was saying, don't like what Mnangagwa is running. Well, a lot of things. So, like, I literally trusted that she was going to do the right thing with Nyoka. But as I said, there are people who have given us money. If you are a family member and you need to go and see Nyoka, WhatsApp me, we'll give you that money and you go over there. I don't care, guys. We are going to get there eventually. And we'll have to build this country from scratch. But Mnangagwa, they destroyed everything. They're evil. Right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I'll see you again a little bit later. And a good day to you.